Welcome back. Now, there's a reason why I've decided to start making videos. It's because, let's just say, I'm socially awkward sometimes and have a bit of anxiety when it comes to public speaking. I'm trying to see if I can use these videos to help with reducing or completely eliminating those issues. I have served in the military. They do help with some of it, but not necessarily all of it. I mean, I was kind of scared of doing stuff like rappelling or crossing a rope that's way above the ground. But with going through basic training, that has resolved those issues I've had. And then there's some issues that the Army could not help me with because they don't show up while I'm doing military stuff. I mean, I kind of have an aggressive nature or stuff like that. But my family has been helping me through that. I mean, and pushed me through school, going back to college. I actually last year got my degree in criminal justice. So I do have an idea of what I'm talking about when it comes to law enforcement related stuff. I know it's going to take some time to get it to where I can be outgoing or even silly with it when it comes to the videos. I mean, I have started writing down some of the stuff I want to say during the videos to help kind of keep me on track, but it doesn't always work. I know now that some places are starting to come out of lockdown a little bit, and other places may be still on lockdown, but there's some where I can actually have a little say, well, for my opinion. I mean, it's what you want to do. You should not be telling everyone, hey, stay home. No, I don't care what you want or that your business is going to stay home. It should be up to the individual of that family. Like, you've got people who run a small business that if they don't open up here soon, they are going to have to close their doors forever. But if you feel like you should not be going to visit these places, or they should not be opening because they just resurgence of the virus, you kind of need to think something before you do this. Yes, you have your opinion, but no matter what's going to happen is, as of right now, it looks like it might be the end of year before there is a vaccine. And are you going to be able to stay at home for a whole year waiting on this vaccine? But if the states open up, there's going to be a resurgence. But if you done right, this resurgence can be limited with taking proper steps and limiting how many people go into these stores, like when they go to salons and all that. It's just a matter of opinion, but I don't even take my son out since he's 5 years old. Not 5 years, 5 months old. And we worry about him. My wife works for an assisted living home, and she's got other people that depend on her for healthcare and stuff like that. So he doesn't really come to the store with us right now. He barely gets to see his grandparents as right now. But me being the healthiest one, I'm usually the one going to the store or running to get something. Now, I know you're going to wonder about my political standings. I'm more based on the Constitution when it comes to politics. I believe everyone's entitled to their own opinion. So if you want to call me crazy, stupid, an idiot, it's your opinion. And I should have the right to have my opinion. And I mean, when your opinions don't include like actual harassment or death threats, I'm talking like, for instance, Second Amendment, the right to keep and bear arms. If you don't want to have a firearm, that's your right. If I want a firearm, yeah, I should be able to have one within my reasoning. And that also comes to churches during this time. Churches should be treated equal. No difference between any set of religion. If the church can do things where it's within the guidelines, or the mosque, or within the guidelines, like the church that we're having sermons over our radio where people could sit in their cars outside the church and listen to the sermon. Even though the state that they were in decided they deserved tickets for that, but those individuals were within the state's guidelines for social distancing. I don't understand why they would get tickets for that, but I think it's wrong. And if you can open these religious services up and be within the guidelines, that's fine. Say, can't have gatherings of this. Some churches have multiple rooms. I mean, you could put 10 people in each room, or at least 9, so, yeah, and have the sermon over a loudspeaker so everyone can hear it. See, so, and then when it comes time to release, you have each room released individually to allow them time to get out, get in their vehicles, and you can keep them so distanced instead of having them bunched together. I mean, that could work in theory. Now, here's where something I think needs to be done. Politicians, or any elected officials, there should be no religious things to determine the way you vote. But also, the vote should not be used in a way where it's pushing you to break your religious set beliefs. So, like the problem with Planned Parenthood. Yes, a lot of people are against abortion. Or, I shouldn't say a lot of people. People are against abortion. There's people for it. But a politician should not have to defend whether or not they provide taxpayers funding, because some taxpayers don't want to pay for someone else's abortion because that's going against their religion. There could be a way to solve this issue without forcing people to violate their religious beliefs. And that would be like, maybe health insurance could take care of some of it, or pretty much while using tax funding, which I believe is being done, to promote safe sex. And my belief is abortion is not right. You willingly decided to do the deed, and you should live with the consequences. But that's my belief. Now we come to a few other things that need to be addressed, in my opinion, like these radical groups out in the communities calling for violence or committing violence. These groups need to be dealt with due to the fact that they're violent. And I don't care which side they are. Republicans, Antifa, because Antifa's been a real problem. They need to be dealt with and charged with actual domestic violence, domestic crimes. Domestic crimes of violence. I mean, they could be deemed a domestic terrorist group. Now, I'm not saying that there are good people or bad people. Well, they're all bad. You're gonna have a mixture. You're gonna have some bad with good. That's why you need to find these extremists, and deal with them. Not just determine the whole group as a domestic terrorist. You get to deal with the extremist. Now, we're coming to another thing I would like to address. Political officials or any elected officials that have been accused of something wrong. It doesn't matter what political side of the aisle you're on. Yeah, you need to be treated the same. And I'm going to just go with this Kavanaugh and Biden things that have been going on. Here you got Kavanaugh on this side going up for Supreme Court. He received an accusation, and it went through the whole process of doing an investigation and #MeToo, causing a lot of stir at his house, with his family at his house, and the allegations were not found. Now you got over here Biden, where he received accusations, and as of right now, I haven't heard anything being done about these accusations. And a lot of people, like famous people that were in the #MeToo movement, have been quiet on this accusation. If you're going to investigate one person over an accusation, you should investigate the other. It's fair and equal. And yes, I believe everyone should be treated equal. But if you're not going to do it equal, and you show a political bias, you should be removed from that position, because you're letting politics get in the way of justice. Or you should be quiet when people say, hey, you are wrong on this aspect for defending this person, yet you condemn this person, even though they did the same thing. Yes, and you get background checks, but sometimes they don't cover everything. I mean, it is something that could be an issue, but you need to be equal and not politically biased when it comes to accusations. Now, I know people are talking about the earth needing to be protected. I know we do. There are certain things that we can do to protect the earth. I mean, like making sure not all the trees are getting cut down. But forcing people to do things is not gonna go over well. I mean, there's been research done into renewable energy, and we can't just shift over just like that because someone says we need to do it. And going back to the politically biased things, it seems like a lot of media has been politically biased lately. I ain't going into details, but if you're going to report news, you report the facts that you have, not just what you want to cherry pick out of those facts. If you're going to report someone said something, don't just take that very instance where he said it and leave out any other and cut off all the beginning part of what he said before he said that to make it seem like he said they did something wrong. If you want the context, if you add the context and it supports what you're saying, that's a different story. But if you're just saying this and the context before it says it's a whole different thing that you're thinking, then people have the right to criticize you. And I will take criticism. If I said something wrong, you can criticize me and go, okay, that's what you say. I mean, I've gotten into debates with people. I mean, I'm not very knowledgeable on certain things, but I report things as what I see instead of what I see and know, rather than something I don't know and try to use what I don't know and try to use something that does seem a little odd as a fact without all the other information. And I know both sides of these media are just attacking each other and along with party lines. You should be doing what's right for the country rather than what you want to see. And I actually like this saying from JFK, who said, it's as not what your country can do for you, as what you can do for your country. Which means saying, if I can do something to better the country, then try to do something that only helps just some people that I really like personally. That's wrong. It should be for the whole country, that the U.S. citizens. And I'm hoping that this helps me or any other people in the future, that Meaning that the government is supposed to work for its citizen, not just the special interest groups. So it means because everyone in this country has equal rights that is a U.S. citizen. I'm not saying the illegals don't have any rights. Illegal immigrants don't have any rights. They have the rights of being treated like a human being. But when you violate a law, you've got to receive the punishment for that. And I thought of an idea at one point in time about dealing with some of these illegal immigrants. I mean, you can give them a chance to gain their citizenship, and if they decide they don't want it, they have to go back to their country of origin. And if, say, those individuals that fail the test, yes, they would have to go back to their country of origin. But if they were to be come back across the border illegally again, they would lose their right to be able to try to come into the country for a set amount of time, which means they would not be able to take the test until that time frame is up. But those who are trying to and do it, yes, their time frame for having to retake the test or something would be shorter, in my opinion, and that's what I believe. Now, this is the end of my video, and until next time, just remember, if they are related by blood, marriage, or adoption, they are still your family, even if you don't like them.